and welcome to the Dry Fantasy Football Show. It is a pleasure to always have you here. My name is Owuraku Ampofo, and yeah, it has been a while because the Premier League went on a mini break, not a very, very long one, but we haven't met in about a week. And well, we are here today to discuss your wild card. And you know, you got a wild card just about 2 game weeks ago, halfway across the game. We know that you always get a chance to rebuild your whole team, and that can sometimes initiate some headache as a lot of decision making does go into that. Which players to consider, which form players, which premium players to go for, and also which differentials to go for, because it is getting to the end of the season and you need to climb up in your mini leagues. Now, during that discussion in terms of who should be in your wildcard team would be Enam and Kojo Amankwa, and would be providing you with premium picks, form picks, and also differential picks right after this break. Okay, so welcome back, and as I said, I'm not here alone. I'm always joined by 2 fantastic gentlemen to do the discussion. But a reminder to you that this show is coming from the Torches Bar in the Kaneshi Sports Complex, a wonderful place where you can always watch your Premier League games, whilst of course checking up on your fantasy, and also have a very good lemonade. I've tried it before and it's really, really good. And my panel man can tell you how good the drink is. But before I ask you guys how good the lemonade is, how was your game week 21? Let me start with you, Kojo.
Yeah, it was good. I was just 4 points above the average, so I'll take it how I get it.
Yeah, sometimes it does happen. And for Enam, it's been a while. We didn't see you throughout the Christmas period. How was your Christmas?
It was okay.
It was just in terms of FPL?
In terms of FPL, it was up and down, roller coaster, but game week 21 ended on 74 points for me, so it was okay.
74, yeah. That's really big. And unlike my boy Kojo here, who is just 4 points above. But we'll be telling you more about a mini league that we are all in, and I'll be giving you updates as to who is there. Remember, there's Enoch there, there's Jojo, there's Pio, there's Banyan, yeah, the whole fantasy crew. But let's get straight into the discussion. And before I start, have any of you played your wild card?
No.
Yeah, of course. And so it means that it is in consideration. Do you have any idea when you're going to play, Kojo?
From game week 30 onwards.
30 onwards, and
probably around the same time. I'm hopefully looking to capitalize on the double game weeks.
Okay, well, for me, I'm thinking about playing this week or next game week. But of course, the discussion will still be relevant whether you're doing it now or 2, 3, 4 weeks from now. Let's start with you, and we start from the premium picks. And you went with Man City's Raheem Sterling. He's a player that you think should be in your wildcard team once you do activate it.
Yes, and last season, at the early part of the season, you could see that it was Sterling's season. He was saving Man City with the last-minute goals, with the equalizers. And now that City is chasing the title now, we expect Pep's big game player to show up, and I think he's almost immune from rotation because he and Sonny have managed to bench Mahrez for a while, and they will continue scoring as they did against Liverpool.
You mentioned the amount of competition in this Manchester City side, and we do know from the look of things, looking at the previous games, that Sané, Aguero, Sterling seems to be Pep Guardiola's best front line. But with the games coming in thick and fast, considering the Champions League, the FA Cup, and EFL Cup, that's the Carabao, do you see Mahrez pushing into the starting 11 in terms of Premier League games?
Well, it's very possible because at the start of the season where Sunday wasn't on his best form, he wasn't on his game, Mahrez was able to bench him so much that Sterling was the one on the left wing and not on the right, which is Mahrez's favorite position. So it depends on your form and how good you are. So if you're not on form, you know that Mahrez is right behind you. So I think Sterling has to keep up his form throughout this title chase.
And yeah, that's something that we can expect. And there's a title chase between Manchester City and Liverpool. And yeah, both of them. It's a rivalry right here because he's a Manchester City fan and he's a Liverpool fan. Now, he claims that Raheem Sterling is a premium pick, and as expected. And you are saying that Salah is going to be a premium pick, and do you think that he will continue this good form to see out the season and hopefully Liverpool will lift up the Premier League trophy?
Yeah, indeed. So, there's a saying that cream always rises to the top. and Salah has duly risen to the top of the FPL rankings. He currently has 151 points, which is more than any other player in the game. And I believe strongly that he's going to carry on this form, especially because of the fact that we are currently only in the Champions League and then the Premier League, because we've exited both competitions, both the Carabao and then the FA Cup. So I believe he has all it takes to take him to the top. And he currently faces Brighton, Crystal Palace and Leicester in the next 3 games, which, interestingly enough, he scored 19 points in those 3 fixtures at the beginning of the season, which means, and even then when he wasn't on form, I mean, you can just imagine what he's going to do in these next 3 game weeks. So I believe, yes, he's the man on form and he's a premium pick.
He seems to be the man on form, but whenever he meets the top 6 side, statistically, he seems to dwindle a lot. And we saw that again against Manchester City, where he failed to register any goal point or assist point. So technically, that was a blank by Mohamed Salah. And I think we have seen a lot of blanks, especially against these top sides. And it's the second round, which means that he is going to play them again. Should Fantasy Premier League managers be worried, especially when you have Salah going into this big game weeks?
Well, you should have some concern, but interestingly enough, the top sides are only 6.
Yeah, and he's already played one, so five left for the season.
And currently on form, I don't think Manchester United can be considered a top side. But hey, that's...
But he's still yet to score Manchester United, the only Premier League club he hasn't scored against. So
he actually will score this season. I can promise you that he definitely will score this season. But the thing is, most of the sides Liverpool are going to meet in the next round of matches are easy pickings, in my opinion. So I believe Salah is definitely your man.
Well, there you have it for the premium picks, and Raheem Sterling and Mohamed Salah. They are the premium picks. Now we move on to the form players, and I start with you, Kojo. You had to stick with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's man, and you picked Rashford because, of course, he is the striker who seems to have found his dancing feet under the new coach. And you want to explain why you went to him?
Since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has taken over, we know that Pogba is grabbing the headlines because he has the most goal contributions under him. But just behind him is Rashford. And Rashford has been very impressive these past few weeks. He's been scoring, he's been assisting. He's trying to make that centre-forward spot his own at Man United, and we can all see it. And the fact that he'll be immune to like being on the bench, because when Lukaku comes, Rashford can play across the front line, so he can bench Martial, he can bench Mata or Lingard, even if Lukaku is at the strike position. So I have faith. And with United having a few very good home games coming up next versus Brighton and Burnley, I think Rashford is one to look at.
But also because he brings you that extra touch of set pieces, right? He has already scored one since Solskjaer took over, and he got an assist with another set piece against Lukaku. Do you see him having to fight for this set piece position with the likes of Sanchez, Mata and Pogba later on in the season, or you think it's something that he has made his own?
No, I doubt it. He's locked on for every set piece to the end of the season.
Well, so yeah, that's Kojo's form pick, and yeah, he went to Rashford of Manchester United, and Manchester United will be facing Tottenham this game week, and Anam went for a Tottenham player. Yes, I know it looks as if today there's a specific rivalry going on, especially in each category that we have tackled so far. We'll see in the differential whether there's a rivalry on there. But I speak of Tottenham, and you went for a surprise pick there in Son, because we do know that this would be his last game for Tottenham because he's going out for the Asian Games, and it's an indefinite period because we don't know whether South Korea would go to the final or would get knocked out of the group. What we do know is that they've won their first group game, so it will be difficult to be eliminated out of the group stages. So Son is going to be away from him for a while, but you still went ahead and would pick him in your wildcard team.
Yeah. So the reason I did that is basically because of form. Son is on red hot form. I mean, for someone to record double digits in 4 of his last 6 game weeks, including that 21-point haul against Everton, I think it's going to be slightly foolish to leave him out of your team or not go for him if you have the chance to. They are playing a United side who haven't been solid defensively this season. They've conceded 32 goals already. with three of actually those goals coming against Tottenham in the reverse fixture earlier in the season. So I think Son is a huge punt to take if you are going into this game week and you're looking to get points from your midfielder. Because United definitely will concede. And currently, if you go into the Tottenham team, it's only Son who is providing most of the goals.
But of course, with Son, it is going to be very, very tricky because when he does go away to these Asia games, what's going to happen is that as at the moment, he's the second most transferred out player. He's going to consistently lose a lot of fantasy managers. So if you do have him in your team, his value is going to reduce. And it's a big risk because if you lose him for 4 or 5 weeks, is he going to come back, continue with that form? If he doesn't and you sell him at a lower value. So it's a big risk, and you still want to go ahead keeping Son on your bench throughout the Asia games.
So there's actually a twist to it. I honestly, if I am going to get him personally, I'm not going to get him and keep him. I'm going to sell him immediately after the United game.
So you do sense a masterclass against Manchester
Definitely.
United.
And that's the main reason why I'm picking him.
Wow,
Yes.
it's a very tough one there. But Son, he convinced me with that Everton game. And after, well, I did not regret because I still have Son and Kane in my team. And they've been saving me for God knows how long in fantasy. And we go on to the last part of our wildcard target. And that has to do with differentials. And of course, we are in the second round of Fantasy Premier League competitions, and it's getting very similar in terms of teams. Everyone is jumping in on their popular players and whoever is scoring. So you need some differentials to be able to stand out. And I start with you, Kwejo, because you went for West Ham's Arnautovic, someone who just came back from injury. So definitely a big differential there.
Yeah, the funny thing is I had my eye on Arnautovic during his recovery period. And before the game week where he scored 2 against Brighton, Pellegrini told us he was still working on his fitness and he wasn't sure if he was going to play. So I didn't trigger the transfer. But as soon as I saw him in the starting lineup, I was like, let me keep an eye on him. And he scored 2. So it convinced me already, and he's already in my team as we speak.
But he did get subbed off in the FA Cup tie after scoring. He didn't look too happy, and his fitness just doesn't seem right in terms of balance. Is he going to be fit, or is it just a risk?
Yeah. Apparently, it was just Pellegrini didn't want to take any risks, and you could see from Arnautovic's face that he could play on with the injury, but Pellegrini he wanted to save his season instead of because of how important Arnautovic is to the team. Because when he starts for West Ham, he has contributed more than 60% of their goals, either from assists or from goals themselves.
Well, incredible statistics there for Arnautovic, and why he would be a good differential pick for your new wildcard team. But I'm still trying to think of a way to establish a rivalry for this last part, but it seems I'm going to be unsuccessful because you went for a Manchester City player, and of course, West Ham and Man City. You just cannot find anything. And you went for Bernardo Silva. He's been the man in terms of replacements for Kevin De Bruyne, and man who is fit again. So do you want to explain the mystery to us? Kevin De Bruyne coming back for his position. Where does Bernardo Silva fall in this team?
Yeah. So the thing is, City are competing in 4 competitions at the moment. They have a huge squad. And De Bruyne is definitely going to come in. But you can notice that, or you would notice that throughout the testing period in which City lost games and drew and that kind of thing, they were actually still reliant on Bernardo Silva quite a lot. He was able to secure 3 assists and a goal in the last 5 game weeks. So he's definitely someone who Pep relies on, despite everything that's going on. And he believes... I believe that he knows Bernardo Silva is a very good player who he can rely on throughout the testing period, and then hopefully they'll get back on form, especially after their victory against Liverpool, and then they'll make a strong run for all their competitions. So I definitely believe Bernardo Silva is going to play a role in the Premier League, and that's why I went for him.
Would you prefer Bernardo Silva on the wings or in that attacking midfield position?
Honestly, in the attacking midfield position, because that's where you're assured of the assist and then the goals as well. So hopefully. Another reason is also because of his points. I mean, his price. he's just 7.7 million. And if you have stalwarts like Salah, Hazard, and others in your midfield, he's a cut price option into Manchester City's midfield if you can't afford the likes of Sané and Sterling.
I'm probably going to go with 3, 4, 5, or maybe all 6. It looks as if we are assembling an Avengers team in terms of Fantasy Premier League, and I think these 6 players would contribute to a lot of points if you do consider the tips from these experts. But of course, Game Week 22 promises a lot, and captain picks have been a headache, especially throughout the Christmas period, and a lot of blanks because I decided to just keep my armband on Harry Kane. I wasn't so disappointed, but there were some game weeks where I saw some blanks, and I'm going to start with you. And Aubameyang, first captain pick, he goes away to West Ham, a team that just struggles to keep clean sheets.
Yeah, Pellegrini has still not got the defensive side of his team on lock. They are still conceding goals, but Fabianski he keeps on making save points, which means they concede a lot of shots on target.
Yeah.
So you expect Aubameyang to be in the goals this weekend?
But for Aubameyang, one scary thought about him is that he doesn't need one chance to score a goal. He probably needs 3, 4 because he always has to miss about 2 before he does put in. So Arsenal will need to create more than one chance for Aubameyang for him to score. Unfortunately, he's not that clinical, but he would still get you some goals. And I'll come to you, Mohamed Salah. He was your premium pick. So obviously, he needs to get points against a Brighton side away, especially considering the fact that Manchester City are snapping their heels right behind them.
Yeah. So, I mean, Salah undoubtedly is a really good captain pick for this game week. He's a man on form, as we all know, and he's facing Brighton, which he actually already scored against in the reverse fixture. So I'm really banking my hopes on Salah coming away with a decent points haul this game week.
To what extent do you think the result against Manchester City and Wolverhampton Wanderers would affect this Liverpool side?
Well, it's actually going to spur them on because the defeat against City wasn't a demoralizing one. I mean, both teams played all their best, but City came out on top. And at the end of the day, Liverpool believe this year is a really good year for them. If they continue with their good form so far this season, they are sure to win the title, hopefully. So, I mean, Salah and co would be spurred on to grab some more victories and then just have this in the rearview mirror as they speed away to the title.
Well, smiling there because he's a Liverpool fan and a Man City fan here. You should have seen his face when he said, hopefully Liverpool win the title. But, Kwejo, our third captain pick on the list is Jamie Vardy, who could be a differential captain pick against a Southampton side that we just don't know which Southampton team would show up on the day. They can be extremely brilliant and put 3 past our Arsenal. And against Manchester City, they can look out of sorts. So they play Leicester. Leicester themselves have been very inconsistent, but Vardy should be amongst the goals if goals do come out on that day.
Yeah, he's on a streak ever since Paul was under fire for his results with Leicester, and he was able to change the team system, and they'll be able to get results against Chelsea and Man City. And in those matches, you could see that Vardy was very prominent in those games, scoring, assisting. And he got the winner against Everton a few game weeks ago. So I expect him to continue this run.
Okay, so just to conclude, would be Sergio Aguero, Manchester City. Now, Aguero's home form is very, very good and excellent. The worry for Aguero owners was his away form. Now, he has started to show good signs. He scored against Southampton. He got a home goal against Liverpool. They do play a Wolves side, which on paper should be an easy victory. But if we do consider Wolves' record against the top 6 sides and what they did against Tottenham at Wembley just about a week ago, this result wouldn't be so easy for Manchester City.
Yeah, it wouldn't. But Aguero is the man who's back on form. Clearly, he showed in his really well-taken goal against Liverpool in the last Premier League game. So I honestly believe he's going to destroy this Wolves side. Even if Wolves put up a really good fight, he's definitely going to get a goal or probably an assist or 2.
Well, that was the verdict on the captain picks for Game Week 22. Now, before I do leave you, gentlemen, who are you going to captain in terms of your team? I'm asking them because, Kojo did say somewhere in January that he was going to captain Digne on the day that Digne scored, I think, about 17 points or so. That was a massive one. So I do have prophets in the making, so you may want to listen to who exactly they are going with. So, Kojo, who are you going with this week? Is it going to be another wild one, or you're playing safe?
I'll play it safe. I think the captain's band is on Aubameyang for this week.
For Aubameyang this week against West Ham. And for you?
I think I'm also going to play it safe. It's going to be Salah.
So Aubameyang and Salah. It seems as if it would be a very, very safe week in terms of who we are picking for captain picks. I already told you, I just left my armband on Harry Kane. Whatever happens to him, I truly don't mind. I'm just going to leave it on him because I'm going to trust that he'll go for that goal, kid, and go all the way. He's a very greedy guy in terms of goals, so hopefully he does deliver for me and also for you if you do have Harry Kane at home. But thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me. Also, a big thank you to the whole crew that made this show possible, and special thanks to you at home too for also making time to watch a Joy Fantasy Football Show. Hope you did pick up a few tips to boost your team in Game Week 22. As usual, we did come from the Torches Bar in the Kanishi Sports Complex. And don't forget to tune in on episode 23 as we do bring you more tips on how to climb on your mini leagues. See you same time next week. And up until I do see you then, always remember, Fike Lindo, which basically means stay beautiful.